Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of GNN. Today is July 2nd, 2025, and we have a double banner tonight based on some surprises. But before we get into the details of our brand new mobile suits, let's go over some news. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys don't know already, and maybe you've been away for a while, away from GBO2, our 7th pre-festival anniversary is underway. I remember this because the last couple times we've had anniversary, I was in AX. So, quick shout out and tangent. For those of you guys that are down there, stay safe and hydrated. I know it's pretty warm down there in LA. So, anyways, yes, a special battle now is being currently held in quick match, where you can sortie in a map with all relay points, placements, and terrain completely mirrored. We'll get into that really quick right now because that's maybe not necessarily new. Nope. So special battles are back, showcasing mirrored versions of City Ruins and Impact Site. So I have not done the Impact Site one yet. It's gonna be a doozy, but I think, you know, what that tells me as somebody that plays this from time to time is I think we're due for another map. Please give us side 7 or give us side 6 and we recreate the Alex and Camper fight. Anyways, we also had various adjustments made in last week's shenanigans there for both raid general types and supports. And we also had the G-Quacks last week with the fabled White Gundam from G-Quacks and the ground type Delta Chi as well. So really neat stuff for the most part. We do have a return of GBO days, so pool free pool. You never know, you might be lucky. I know probably most of the time you're probably gonna get a dupe, but hey, that goes to tuning suits. That's all awesome. All right, so our main event is the Hazel Owsla with the gigantic arm unit equipped in this configuration. And for those that are uninitiated, don't know what Advanced Zeta is, and don't even know what the hell this thing is in general, for TLDR purposes, it has Psycho Gundam arms at the end of the Huduru units. That's why those big gigantic arms are humongous. It's not so much that he's trying to catch a fish, as you'll see in some of the other illustrations for that, but yes, it is finally here. One of the other Hazel variants has made it. On top of that, we do have a guaranteed supply drop step up for that. But lo and behold, we have the Casval Daikun Red Gundam from Giren's Greed, and this is on a half off as well. They are really pulling all the stops out before we get hit to anniversary, so I'm very curious to see what we're getting. Man, and that's not all. I did say 2 main units. We're getting a reissue, limited supply drop for the Icarus unit of the Hazel Custom. This is a 550 raid, if I'm not mistaken. Now it's now the level 2 is being added, which is pretty cool. I think it's gotten a lot better now, but don't take my word for it. Let me know what you guys think. We do have some changes to the recycle ticket counter. We now have the level 3 AG. I think that was part of a limited mission. It's now available in the RT shop with the level 1 and level 2 Anxia from Gundam Unicorn. We do have some changes to the DP exchange as well, in the form of the GM Dominance, the underwater version, level 1 now being added, as well as the level 4 version of the Striker Custom. Full Armor Gundam Type B, level 4 is now being added, as well as the level 4 version of the Zero Shiki. So, this weekend's situational battle is now based on a sign of Zeta being the theme of the day. And just kind of recap this really quick, it looks like, yes, we have the AUG going against the likes of the Titans again. Both Zeta, Methus, Mark II, Rick-DS, Nemo, and it looks like Zeta Gundam is now going to have the Space Affinity, and then Rick-DS will have the Observational Data Link, will be the support for the day. in this capacity. And then in the case of the Titans, you have 2 Gabaliths, like a Plant, Marsai, and Isaac. Gabaliths will have the space affinity, as well as the Marsai will now have the spatial data link for this situational battle. So pretty interesting suits that they choose to make as the sort of support units. But hey, it's all fun because it's all quick match anyways. So if you don't have it already and you haven't been saving DP, whatever the situation may be, the first week of this situational battle is for the level 1 Zeta Gundam for this first step. It is a 600 native, and then the following week will be the Gabaliths at level 1, as well as same cost range. So pretty cool. All right, let's get to our main event here for the Hazel Owsla Gigantic Arm unit. This is a 700 cost 4-star unit that was unveiled on Tuesday nights, you know, end of the month kind of thing. They didn't have any forewarning whatsoever. They just threw it out there, made it live, and all I can say is nobody bugged me about anything, sadly. I was hoping for a little more action with that, but no, I've been chuckling all day about this just because it's finally come to fruition. This is, as I mentioned before, a raid unit through the GBO2 support unit, which is these little things right above its shoulder. Very similar, basically the same units that you would find on the TR5 units in both configurations that we have in the game right now. This unit was developed in the Murasame New Type Labs in Japan, based on a firepower enhancement proposal equipping gigantic Psycho Gundam arms. Yes, it's basically literally the Psycho Gundam arms on there, but it does not have the Psychomu system or the operating system. So this is just in concept only, utilized as a sort of like additional, you know, cannon, winch cannon, that sort of thing. So you have the winch cannons off of the TR5 on there, and this is a ground and space unit. Couldn't imagine this being ground only, but you never know. It does come with a unique skill called Gigantic Armor Controller, which basically spells out when dealing damage to an enemy mobile suit with skill compatible weapon, damage fluctuates according to the unit's max remaining HP ratio. So obviously if you're at max health, you're doing a lot more damage. So chances are you're probably going to be focused quite a bit. As soon as I saw this, immediately I'm already thinking it might be running into the similar issues that the Nightingale encountered when that first came out during the, I want to say, 5th year anniversary, alongside the Hainu Gundam. Now, of course, if you are doing 10 pulls for this by themselves, this is your chance to get the Titan's normal suit, so the suit and helmet itself. Pretty cool stuff. If you are doing the step up, this is a 7-step plan. They are throwing in another melee part, so this is going to be pretty interesting for some of the higher level suits out there. I'm kind of curious to see how it scales, but eventually, like I have disclaimed over and over again, I do hope they end up being in the RT or DP shop a lot quicker than normal. It's only fair. That way we can enjoy these things for ourselves. Anyways, but we do have a half off at the first step. A couple more through mechanic tickets and modification kits, and then 3 extra steps of, you know how this is, even though they say you might, it's materials, a lot of those are dupes. So yeah, materials. And then yes, guaranteed 7th step. So details on the new melee part, which is a level link system. It increases melee boost by 5 if the unit level and primary weapon level are the same. Effectiveness will increase, being more effective the higher the level is. Multiple parts of the same type cannot be equipped at once. I do not know how this scales up, but if anybody happens to find out, feel free to throw that in the comments below. I would greatly appreciate it, as well as everybody else would. Jumping into our next subsequent banner, this is a 4-step unit. This is Casval's Red Gundam, coming in as a native 450 general type. So this is gonna put the regular grandpa a little competition there, but it also has a half off there. I pulled for it, I didn't get it, so unfortunately I did not get it. I feel bad. So yeah, general type mobile suit, Federation Forces, RX Project, pretty much a lot of fluff right now. Pretty much. Basically, this unit was developed exclusively for Casval based on the secretly obtained G3 design data with enhanced mobility and agility. So the only thing I can think of is, based on that, it's going to be very melee oriented. So it's like a lower cost, not a raid, but kind of like a lower cost Mark II. Because we remember Pepper Ridge Farms remembers back in the day when the Mark II first dropped, that thing was a menace, and I feel like this is going to be a menace as well. So all I can say is I might actually go for this one and forego whatever anniversary might be, which is already a risk in itself. But hey, you know, when you throw stuff like that at us, it's very hard to, you know, hard to resist. Plus, you know, with the resurgence of everybody getting back into Grandpa because of G-Quacks, you know, it's, how can you say no? Anyways, yeah, no special step up besides that, so kind of interesting. And without further ado, from there, I guess, actually, wait a minute, I'm sorry, we do have some clan updates as well, sorry. Clan matches. So, with all this craziness going on, day after 4th of July, we have a clan match. 450 cost basic impact site 6v6. This is gonna be a morning time. Good old 5 a.m. Pacific time. The next evening one, for those of you guys that love to do evening matches, Simple Battle, Tropical Desert 4v4, 550 cost. This will be at evening time on the 12th of July. On the 19th, we have Shuffle Target, City Ruins, 350 cost, 6v6, and we're back to morning times. So this is still for the GAU Glancer, a 400 cost suit. So if you have not done that yet, this is your chance to try to place and get it. For those that we reach a clan rank, they got a Pegasus emblem up there, so really, oh, wait a minute. Interesting, so it's top 10 for that. I thought it was for everybody, but I think that's for everybody on the 254th? 243rd. What the heck? Hold on, wait. So yeah, that evening one. Okay, I was just like, hold on, I'm misreading this because the way they have it organized here. Anyways, enough of that. Let's get into the nitty gritty. Alright, folks. Future Aoshi here, and here we are with the gigantic arm unit version of the Owsla. So, jumping down the line here, we have 29k HP. Definitely a big lean towards melee resistance, and 25s on both beam and ballistics. So hopefully you're able to address some of those shortcomings, maybe. Hard to say, considering the custom part slots already being kind of about roughly even, but you know, that's the fun thing about playing Tetris with GBO2 configurations here, is we got to figure it out. In terms of attack power, we're pretty much balanced, both range and melee, although because of the way the suit is configured, you kind of almost want to have a little bit of both, even though like this is a raid unit, and if you've seen the trailer for this suit, this thing just likes to go monkey on people. I would almost call it Johnny Bravo if it were a Gundam. Going into the movement side of things, 135, 220, so it's not quite as fast as we scroll down here to the Nightingale. Sorry, I don't know how I messed that one up. But, you know, there are different statures. I know the Nightingale still is significantly wider than the Owsla gigantic arm, but this is not something that's going to be, you know, it's not going to have an easy time dodging stuff either, per se, but, you know, different silhouettes there. Generous thruster gauge of 75, turning speed of 66, which I would say for this cost range, it's kind of average. It's not as slow as some of the other larger units, but I would say it's definitely kind of average in consideration to the flat booster suits of the F90, which I can see that being a problem. Banshee already as itself has something higher, so yeah, it's definitely going to be something that you might have to address, or you're going to have to be very, very careful with this already. That's immediately as soon as I'm looking at stuff. But again, this is just all on paper. It might perform a lot differently once you get down the line, because going into the primary weapon, we have 5 fingers for 500 power each, 80% heat rate, effective range of 350 meters with a 13-second overheat and 3.5-second cooldown time. So this suppresses simultaneously reasonable power but low rate of fire. So yeah, you're gonna be not trying to spam this too much, but we'll see how that works out. We have the melee side of the gigantic arm unit, 2600 power, 2.5-second swings with a 2.5-second charge time for its heavy attack. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting, and it works with that gigantic arm controller skill that we talked about earlier. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting, very interesting. 5-barrel beam cannon discharge, so both of these firing at the same time, 400 base power, 95% heat rate, up to 400 meters effective range, 4-second cooldown time, 18-second overheat, and 8.8-second focus. So this is required. Modified for use as a sub-weapon and requires focus, suppresses enemy on hit. So I can see this working because you're going to be pretty much chaining hits at distance, but that's not to say you can't get in nitty-gritty and dirty up close too, because this also has incendiary pods. I like how the trailer says it has hip missiles, but these are the Owsla missile pods. ×2, base power 150, 24 shots with an effective range of 350 meters, 12-second reload time. And for those of you guys that have seen the RF Dom in action, anything else, or even like the last 4-star general, being the Zeta ground type, incendiaries are pretty self-explanatory. I can see this being pretty cool as damage over time. Definitely something easy to work into. We have the TR5 winch cannons, base power 2000, instant overheat, effective 400 meters, 20-second overheat time with a 4-second focus. This suppresses and it pierces, but you're able to move while you're focusing. But it is a stop-to-fire weapon. I think this other one is not a stop-to-fire. So yeah, this is gonna be interesting, considering the circumstances. We also have a chaff dispenser, or smoke basically, like the regular base Owsla that has this feature as well. Two shots basically. Cooldown, a significant cooldown time between dispensing, and then a 20-second reload time. Basically special smoke screen that temporarily increases your unit's defenses while providing stealth. So if you played a regular base Ifrit and a lot of the other smoke-based weapons out there, very similar mechanics. So you're going to be wanting to pop this in a lot of different situations where you're going into up close and maybe even playing mid-range, because a lot of these weapons right off the bat, there's a lot of 350 to 400 meter overlap. So definitely it looks like it's meant to kind of midline as much as it's able to while the fight goes on, to patiently wait for an opening or make your own opening, because you also now have a barrage mode with 3-second focus, instant overheat, 2000 base power, 300 meters effective range, 25-second overheat with a 3-second charge time. It can move while focused and pierces mobile suits and deals continuous damage. This is going to be fun and a pain in the butt already. I can assure you, just to learn this already, but man, firepower does not seem to be lacking. I'm more concerned about the support side of things, meaning the skills that back up something like this. So going into the shopping list of skills, we got some usual suspects already. It has Assault Booster 2 and Bach 2, so space-wise, it's going to be a lot better in that capacity. High Maneuver Armor level 1 is something new that I'm not familiar with. I feel like this is the first time I'm seeing it, but I feel like it's not at the same time. During high-speed movement, damage and stagger resulting from cumulative damage are reduced, nullifies reaction when hit, except for toppling attacks and tackles. Pretty standard for normal maneuver armor. However, if heavy, stagger, or higher is nullified, stagger from cumulative damage becomes more frequent. So, yeah, this is gonna be... I'm not sure how to react to it. I know everybody and their mom's gonna probably be playing generals. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I can tell you that for sure. I can tell you that for sure already. And then on top of that, we have the high performance thruster control system. So it's basically like flight control and something else can, you know, tied into it as well. And I think force injector, because we're already at like a long list of skills already. Melee composite system 3, so 3 swings. It also is basically kind of like what is it, offensive system already included in this as well. We also have power accelerator 2. Yeah, this is gonna be fun and a pain in the butt to fight against, but hey, I know some people like challenges, right? So yeah, that's gonna be self-explanatory. Enhanced tackle 8. That's crazy. Enhanced tackle is granting 500% to attack and 60% to distance covered. Also reduced thruster consumption by 30% during tackle attacks. Obviously, we talked about the heavy attack. Has leg buffer 4s. I think this puts it on par with the Sinanju Stein also having 4 as well, I think. But, you know, people will still melt this if given the opportunity. So, yeah, I don't know how much that's going to help. Anti-blast, pretty much a staple. Kind of not surprised. Special back-on buffer. So, 35%. I think this is 35 as well. So, also has damage control 2, active guard 3. I need to work on my active guard, speaking of which that. So I'm just like, oh man, just trying to get into the routines, honestly. Yeah, this thing's gonna need a lot of boost. Interrupt guard, so melee attack recovery can be cancelled with a guard action. However, thruster consumption is increased after use. Yeah, more thrust or like force, I don't know. Giant arm controller, like we talked about earlier, is that whole scaling with the HP remaining ratio type of thing. So yeah, this thing's gonna be pretty nasty to deal with. And it also has a high performance counter program when less at 50%. So yeah, this is gonna be pretty crazy. So let's get into the practice room and see what we can't figure out from there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, future Aoshi here. I had a generous benefactor decide to provide some information on the other suit that is part of this whole banner, Char's Gundam, basically. So we'll continue on before we get into the practice for, in this case, both suits now. 450 cost. Casval's Gundam comes in at 17.5 with a big emphasis on melee resistance. 14s are, I would say, kind of on the lower side, but not too hard to fix. 14 for ballistic and beam. No range power, despite having some range weapons here. It does have a significant melee power of 45, so this is going to be interesting considering the fact, yeah, it's a general. Yeah, this is going to be rather interesting. Sorry. Going into the movement side of things, 135, 200. So this is already going to be pretty quick for a 450 suit. Decent thruster gauge of 65 and good turning speed of 63. So going into the primary weapon of things, actually, you know what? Before we jump into that, the part slots look very similar to that of the Hazel Custom. So I wonder how it's going to be to build this thing. But jumping into the primary weapon of things, here we have the version of the big iconic Gundam beam rifle coming in at 1600 power, 90% heat rate, so this is not going to be firing very quickly. Range of 350, 4.5 seconds, cooldown time, 13-second overheat with a 3-second focus. And this thing is point to shoot, it looks like, while focus fire will pierce. So yes, I feel like I have essentially a low-cost Hazel so far. That is going to be crazy. Going into the melee side of things, this is already coming in at 1900 with 2.5 second swing. Nothing super extra, no heavy attacks or anything. This is priority 2, so let's not get ahead of ourselves here. No ground, space, or water compatibility, so that's pretty interesting. I see them probably rectifying that feature. But going into the sub-weapon category, we have Head Vulcans coming in at 100 power, which is a lot more than I think what Grandpa normally comes in with. 30 rounds, 150 meter effective range, 8-second reload time. Not sure what the build-up is look like. I would say it's probably similar. Hopefully it's improved. We'll see once we get into the practice side of things. It does have the separate Hyper Bazooka as a sub-weapon, which I can see people are going to be probably leaning towards this a little bit more, just because you're going to have to juggle not overheating the beam rifle, but hey, it's going to be interesting and fun because 10-second reload time, 6.5 seconds, this is pretty quick in terms of certain statuses there. But yeah, as with bazookas and everything, the travel time is going to be very hard to deal with. We do have a blow melee. Don't ask me why it's written that way, but that's what it is. 2.5 second cooldown time, 1700 base power. Not sure. I think you might be able to combo off of this. Not 100% sure. I know some of the other suits that have similar to this type of affinity. You can and can't. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We also have the shield, 4000 HP. Pretty standard, same as Grandpa. Going into the shopping list of skills. Kind of on the shorter end, this is a 3-star suit, ironically enough. Has Quick Boost 2, Double Roll, Anti-Blast, High-Spec Ambok, which I'm surprised it doesn't have anything with compatibility, but I guess that's what Ambok for this would kick into. Force Injector 2 already, so this is kind of on par with the, I almost want to say White Gundam from G-Quax and even the Gundam EX. 2-swing combo, and it has EX Boost as well, so pretty interesting. So yeah, I wonder if it's going to be like a hit and run type of thing. I don't know, we'll see. But I can tell you for sure, it's, you know, without more speculating, it's time to try things out and see what we can learn from practice. Alright, let's go.
Ready to begin?
Alright, here we go. You can see this already being... Oh, it's a floaty suit. Ugh. Not sure if I like that. I mean, I play a lot of RF Dom and everything, or I played it quite a bit. Alright, let's see. Ooh, 50% stun value. Let's do that again. Okay, not fast enough to follow up, but yeah, 50%, not bad.
The majority of combat happens in a mobile suit, so you'll need to be comfortable with the controls.
Okay, that's a charge. I don't think you'd fire normally, if I'm not mistaken. Nope. Hold on. Okay, so that's built stun right there. The only thing is that I think it breaks MA1.
Suit categories. Each has its own role in combat.
Okay, so yeah, you only expend one for the smoke thing. We're just going through all of this really quick. Oh my lord. Wow. Wow.
Raid type mobile suits possess great mobility and enhanced melee skills.
Wow.
Making them perfect for diversion and disruption. They excel
Wow.
at support types.
That's if I get close enough. That's the thing. It looks impressive until I can get close enough. What the hell? That's crazy. Hold on, wait. 1, 2. Oh my lord, sweet baby Jesus.
Be mindful of damage and
Okay.
strain on your own
We kind of knew it was already going to do some crazy stuff to supports. I want to see what it looks like on generals, because obviously we're probably going to have to fight that a lot. Missed that. That's crazy sauce. Oh yeah, I think I gotta be back for this. That's crazy. Or I need to be... I don't know, that's weird. It's gonna be kind of weird because it's just like, obviously the sock's a bigger target, but like... Okay, so about roughly here. That's crazy. That is gonna be nuts if it gets close enough to work. So about half is MA1, basically.
ASL's a handy function
Interesting.
that automatically assists with aiming. Even weaker weapons can be effective with enough actions. For beginners, I recommend machine guns with ASL.
Alright, let's see what the barrage looks like. Eek. That's no fun. Alright, let's see something really quick. I want to see...
In battle, you'll find that coordinating with your allies is more important than any one individual's technique.
Hold on.
You've taken some serious damage.
Alright, let's try this really quick. I think I'm just gonna topple the... Yeah, we're gonna just topple the Zoc, because it can't be countered, so let's do this really quick. Alright, ready... That's interesting. Alright, so now let's,
Your units all repaired. Yes, dishing out damage is important. But
So that's a pretty
assisting
cool
allies in
combo, if
creating
that's what it
openings
is.
vital too.
Alright. Oh yeah, so it's just a swing, the other one's a 3-hit swing. That's pretty dope. That is pretty dope. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting because, like, I could see already... I feel like turning speed would be a lot better, because it's kind of a similar problem that some of the sliding suits tend to do. Like, I should be able to turn this a little bit better. I need it to be turning higher, because higher turn speed will help you compensate for melee attacks if you're defending from them or attacking them. And especially if you're dealing with multiple suits a lot, it just helps you a little bit with that. Or plan B would be get used to the speed, don't listen to what I'm saying, but that's what that one there. So let's go ahead and switch suits and ready the other one.
Ready to begin?
Alright, here we are. Let's see. Now keep in mind, folks, these are both naked suits, both between what you saw earlier and this one here with Casval's Gundam. Eek, that's less than 25%, that's like 20% maybe. Eek. Alright, so let's look at this really quick. Wow, 20 rounds. Eek. I think that's pretty standard. I don't know. Math is hard, but yeah, 20 rounds to break MA1.
So you need to be comfortable with the controls.
Alright. It's about 55%, maybe 52. I don't know. Man, I feel like playing this right now, or at least this type of combo, makes me more reminiscent of classic GBO2, where everybody was running Bazooka and Vulcan Command. GM Commands, I'm sorry. Oh my god, I literally have a narrative. Oh my god, this is okay. Okay, yeah, I like this. I like this. This is gonna be fun. Okay, let's check out General really quick, because obviously it's got some tools for 450, it's not bad.
General-type mobile suits feature a well-rounded, durable design. that makes them ideal for establishing and holding the battle line. They deal increased damage.
Pretty standard swings, Federation swings here. Hit his shield more. That's a whoops. Yeah, we're gonna have to swap that around really quick. Already.
Be mindful of damage and strain.
Actually, you know what? Let's do this real quick.
And take every chance you get to damage the enemies.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be a problem, I think. Or it's gonna be significantly an issue. It won't necessarily be a problem, but okay. I mean, it's nothing super crazy, but man, it definitely looks like it's a lot of fun. Definitely an alternative to regular Grandpa. So yeah, definitely feels like it's fun. All right, let's close out with this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes tonight's news on not but one, but two banner nights so far. Banner suits, rather. I want to know what you guys think. Obviously, to a lot of folks out there, it feels very much like a trap, and I totally understand that. But with me, it's a Hazel. It's very hard to resist. At the same time, the Char's Grandpa Gundam version from Yearn's Greed definitely looks like a lot of fun. But let me know what you guys think, whether it's a viable suit or not. I know we're very close to anniversary, if not already. You know they're gonna pull a fast one on us, and well, hopefully I'll be here for that, because if you guys haven't already noticed, I love Gundam to death, and I know a lot of you guys do too. So without further ado, that's it for now, and until next time, guys, I will see you guys all in the next video. Take care.